Last year this time, or even 3 weeks ago, if you extended your hand to greet someone and they responded with an elbow bump, you'd more than likely be taken aback, perhaps even feel offended. But if you did the same thing today, people look at you as if you're crazy or careless, negligent even. But of such is the abrupt turn that things have taken in recent times. The fact is that we are not accustomed, I don't believe, to be living with such a high level of uncertainty. We're just not used to living in a situation where there's such a great rapid change of probabilities. So what gives? Fear, trepidation, anxiety, even panic. And you see that playing out in panic buying, right? People stockpiling toilet paper, hand sanitizer. You see it in the roller coaster ride of the stock market. I think it's all reflecting the emotional roller coaster ride that people are experiencing today. The fact is that we all have a desire to protect ourselves, and so when you see these extreme responses to crisis, what you're really seeing is the fact that when people feel that their survival is threatened, they feel that they have to do something. They have to do something to feel like they're in control. They have to do something to regain a sense of normalcy. As human beings, our survival is actually dependent on two emotions, fear and anxiety, right? These two fellows keep us safe. They make us react immediately whenever we feel threatened. So let's say we're out on the prairie and we meet up on a lion or a saber-toothed tiger. Choose your poison, right? Or maybe it's 2020 and you're dealing with the coronavirus, right? There's a part of your brain, the emotional center, that wants to keep you safe. It wants you to react immediately and get away from the situation, right? It's telling you to run. But then there's a rational side of your brain who say, no, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Let's see how this thing plays out. Let's look into this a little bit further, right? Maybe we're going to meet the saber-toothed tiger down the road again, or maybe 5 years from now we're going to have to deal with another crisis. So let's understand this better. And the emotional center is going, are you crazy? Run! And the rational side is like, no, wait. And so they argue and they crosstalk, and eventually the whole thing short circuits and panic sets in. Right? We begin to fearfully take action without any plan. That's what panic is. Fearfully taking action without any plan, right? The emotional center takes over and it's acting fearfully with no plans. The rational side has no role to play. So if I could admonish you, or maybe that's too strong a word, so maybe I could encourage you, if I could encourage you not to panic, but to connect with another side of our persona that, quite frankly, plays just an important role in keeping us alive over the millennia. And that is adapt. Don't panic, adapt. The fact is that change is an ever constant in our lives. If there's one thing we can be assured of, it's that change is going to happen. Our ability to effectively run our lives really rely on how well we adapt to the external conditions in our lives, right? Adaptability is how we adjust our approach, our actions to the ever-changing external conditions in our lives. So what I like to do is to share with you 4 ideas and how being adaptable is beneficial to you. Number 1, Being adaptable allows you to bounce back from adversity far more quickly. I think we all know that from time to time, the proverbial stuff hits the fan, right? Through no one's fault, bad things are going to happen to you. Bad things are going to happen to me. Bad things are going to happen to us. Now, if you're adaptable, when adversity strikes, you will be able to take it in stride, right? It won't destroy you. Because you're adaptable, you'll be able to prevail. But just as importantly, when adversity strikes, you won't spend your days becoming fixated on what could have been, right? You're not sitting there bemoaning the fact that you had a deal over a year about to close, you had another project you were working on, and now adversity struck. No, you don't become fixated. Instead, you accept the new normal, right? And when I say accept, or I'm not suggesting that you're giving up, right? Acceptance is really an acknowledgement that these are the new facts. This is a new playground in which you're operating in, and you just simply have to deal with it. Which takes me to my second point. Being adaptable means that you're hardy. And what do I mean by that? Well, it means that you're able to weather the storm of an extreme situation. It means that you can tackle the challenges even if they may seem impossible at first. And I would argue that this coronavirus crisis is an extreme situation. And for some people, perhaps for many people, it might seem impossible, right? But when you are adaptable, when you are hardy, you end up having the strength to meet the challenge and even improve on what you've been doing, right? Because you become solution oriented. As I said earlier, you don't focus on or become fixated on what could have happened. You are more solution oriented. You're focusing now on how you can make things whole again. My third point is being adaptable allows you to engage in self-evaluation. Crises such as this one can really slow you down, but I don't believe that they have to stop you, right? It's not a standstill. I see a slowdown as an unplanned, albeit uncomfortable timeout. That's what it is, a timeout. It's an opportunity for you to think about and assess your work, right? So you would be thinking about whether or not you're doing everything in your power to support the projects you're working on before the crisis hit, right? What are some of the things you can work on right now? Which ones will you have to put off until later? Is there a strategic change, a career change you were considering before the crisis hit, but you just couldn't find the time to explore it? Well, now would be a good time to take a look at it. How about your business? Can your business pivot? Is there an area that was underserved or totally neglected? Is there a niche that you can tap into in order to create new products and services? These are all the things you can do now. You can start assessing during this slowdown period. Which brings me to my fourth point. Being adaptable means that you plan ahead. Look, this crisis is not going to go on forever. This too shall pass. Sooner or later it's going to end. And when it does it make sense that you prepare yourself to be ready to hit the ground as soon as you get through the other end of this crisis? If it does, then it means you should start planning. Somebody once said that planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. So regardless of the crisis, despite all these emotions, the fear, the trepidation, the anxiety, the near panic, don't let it cripple you. Become proactive. Be proactive. Start thinking about and taking the necessary steps to prepare yourself to get back to as close to normal as possible, as soon as possible, as soon as you get to the other end of this crisis. But more than that, start strategizing, start putting plans in place to better gird you, to better prepare you the next time an abrupt change hits. Look, all I'm saying is that you should resist this almost instinctual urge to panic. Instead, adapt. Accommodate yourself to your new circumstances. In other words, stop spending so much time trying to change the circumstances. You may or may not be able to. Spend more time changing your attitudes and your expectations. There's a famous Chinese proverb that says, "The wise adapt themselves to circumstances as water molds itself to the pitcher." Or as Bruce Lee so succinctly puts it, "Be water, my friend, be water." I am Devon Harris, and as always, keep on pushing. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click on that subscribe button and hit that bell. You'll get a notification every time we post a new video. And don't forget, share it with your friends, man. They want to be inspired as well, right? So share it. Don't keep it. And before you go on to the next video, visit my website, www.devonharris.com. Keep on pushing.